I am so excited to present the concept of the FITT formula. This is a middle school presentation on the concept of the FITT formula. Why the FITT formula? Because the concept of the FITT formula is embedded in the California 8th grade physical education content standards. All right, these are the 4 specific standards where the FITT formula is very relevant. Essentially, 8th graders are going to be able to design and implement a 2-week fitness plan. And you really can't design a fitness plan without understanding the FITT formula concept. So that is completely why the FITT formula is relevant. It also is really important because as you become young adults and you continue to be physically active, it's really important as you continue to design programs for yourself that you understand how to use the FITT formula. So the fitness plan, all right, it embeds several different PE concepts. Thus far, we have covered the following concepts: key muscle groups and regions of the body. We've experimented with various workout formats. We've looked at the phases of a workout. We've looked at how to measure and analyze exercise intensity. And we've also looked at understanding the 11 fitness components. All of those are really important when you design a fitness plan. However, there are 3 other concepts that are also very important, which are going to be covered in future presentations. One of them we're going to be covering today. We're going to be looking at exercise principles as a future concept. Okay. Right now, we're going to be focusing on this presentation is going to be looking at the FITT formula. And we also have to look at setting goals. Okay. Once we have all of these concepts, an understanding of all of these concepts, then it's time to design and implement that fitness plan. All right. So take a guess for a minute. What do you think FITT stands for? What does that acronym stand for? So, learning targets. Students will be able to list and explain the FITT formula. Students will be able to give examples for each of the aspects of the FITT formula. Students will be able to explain how to apply the FITT formula to designing their own fitness plan. The FITT formula is a formula that is used as a guideline for creating an exercise program that is both safe and effective for developing physical fitness and training. So, going back to that previous question that I had about what did you think the FITT formula stood for? Okay. F is for frequency. The I is for intensity. The first T is for time or duration, and the other T is for type. So we're looking at frequency, intensity, time, and type. Okay. Let's see what each one of these means. Frequency. All right. This represents how often you work out per day, per week, or per month. When you design a fitness plan, you would need to determine the frequency. Okay. Are you going to work out 2 days a week? Are you going to work out 4 days a week? Are you going to work out all 7 days of the week? That would really be your frequency. However, factors to consider when you think of frequency is how often you work out would depend on your fitness goals. So what are you trying to achieve? How often you work out should depend on what is realistic in your life. You don't want to say you can work out 7 days a week if you really only know you have 3 or 4 pockets throughout the week where you can work out. How often you work out would have a lot to do with how your body responds to the specific program. Okay. And you need to also consider that your body does need adequate rest. Right. So that is what you need to look at when you think of frequency. Right. Now we're going to look at intensity. Intensity, how hard you work out when you exercise. Okay. So when we look at intensity, All right. It represents how hard you work out during a workout session. When designing a fitness plan, it is important to manage how hard you're going to push yourself. All right. So, intensity, things to consider when you're looking at intensity. The intensity of your workout would depend on your fitness goals. The intensity of your workout would have a lot to do with how your body responds to the specific exercise program. For example, if you're pushing every workout at a really high intensity, you're going to be at a higher risk of injury. So your body might start to break down. Okay, you might start to get some aches and pains. So that's a factor you need to consider. Maybe you need to lessen the intensity, decrease the intensity on certain days of the week. All right, you need to vary your intensity the more that you work out. Right? Shorter workouts should have a higher intensity, and longer workouts should have a moderate intensity. All right? So, how do you measure intensity? Right? It's important to know how to measure intensity. When you're doing cardiovascular exercises, running, hiking, swimming, biking, things you do for a longer period of time that really stimulate your heart and your breathing, then you're going to be looking at heart rate or RPE to measure your intensity. If you're doing strength training, it would be measured in sets and reps, the weight that you use, and the cadence that you do to perform your reps. If you're doing HIIT training, more like circuit training, where you're combining cardio and strength, you'd be looking at heart rate, RPE. You'd look at the type of equipment you're using. Okay, and you look at the weight that you're using. These are all ways that you can measure your intensity. All right, now we're going to look at time and duration. Okay. Time, it represents a duration or how long your workout session is. It is important to work out long enough to reap the benefits. However, there's some factors you definitely need to consider when you're thinking about how long you're going to work out. The duration of your workout would depend on your fitness goals. The length of your workout has a lot to do with your intensity. Like I said earlier, if it's a higher intensity, you're going to work out for a shorter period of time. If you've planned for more of a moderate intensity workout, you might want to work out for a longer period of time. Okay. Also, your current fitness level and experience will determine how you adapt to the length of a workout. Obviously, the longer you work out, the more your body has to adapt to that duration, right? So if you have a better fitness level, then it's going to be maybe a little bit easier to adapt to longer duration. As you're building your fitness levels, you might want to start with shorter durations and then work your way into longer workouts. Okay. So the last thing that we're going to be looking at here is the type. All right. What kind of exercise you're going to choose. All right. So when you're thinking about what type of exercise you're going to choose to do, all right, it should really map to your fitness goals. Right? So whatever your goal is in your fitness plans, that will determine the type of exercises you're going to do. All right. Right. They should also map to your fitness and your skill level. You don't really want to do exercises that your body hasn't adapted to, or you don't have experience doing, or you don't have the fitness level to do. Right. And the type of exercises you choose have some variety and keep you motivated. The types of exercises you choose should have some variety and keep you motivated to work out. Okay. So, what is the FITT formula for kids? The American Heart Association recommends the younger you are, you should be physically active and have plenty of opportunities to move throughout the day. But as you get older, you start to get into your adolescent preteen years and teen years. All right, you should be looking at 60 minutes per day of moderate to vigorous physical intensity. Yes, that's every single day. Okay. You should include vigorous to high intensity activity for at least 3 days a week. So 3 of your workouts during the week should target high to vigorous, high intensity workouts. Okay. You should also think about doing some type of strength training at least 3 days per week. All right. So it's important. You want to get about an hour of activity every day. Right. And then you break that up. 3 of it should be really high intensity, and 3 of it should be focusing on strength training. All right. And then you want to increase the amount and the intensity gradually over time. All right. So this, okay. So when we think of the FITT formula, how does it help you with your fitness plan? Right. Well, basically, the FITT formula is what you will use to design your entire plan. So it's critical in designing your plan, because when you put a plan together, you have to figure out how many days a week you're going to work out. Okay. You need to plan what you're going to do. What type of exercise are you going to do? You're going to have to plan how hard you're going to do it. And you have to figure out how long you're going to do each workout. All right. The FITT formula can be adjusted as your goals and fitness levels change. So keep that in mind. So, a quick review. Now that we've been through this and we've talked about it, now, what does FITT stand for? Remember, you were asked this question way in the beginning, and now you're being asked at the end. What does FITT stand for? Now that you are FITT formula experts, you are ready to learn all about how to train smarter and put this FITT formula to work. Congratulations for making it through this presentation, and I really hope that you learned some new concepts.